Los Angeles has an image problem, at least when it comes to food. People talk about the weather, they talk about the traffic, they talk about the restaurants that cost $200 and serve you something the size of a postage stamp. What they don't talk about is the fact that some of the most eaten, most copied, most culturally embedded food in America was invented right here. Not in Paris, not in Tokyo, not in New York, in Los Angeles. By immigrants, by accident, by necessity, and almost always by someone who had no idea what they were starting. The California roll is not Japanese. The French dip was never French. The Cobb Salad was a midnight refrigerator raid that became a national institution. And the fortune cookie, which you have eaten at the end of 1,000 Chinese meals, was invented by a Japanese immigrant who was later sent to an internment camp, taking the true story with him. I'm Stan. This is First Bite, because the first taste is only half the story. Today we go deeper on 10 foods invented in Los Angeles. Let's get into it. Food 1. The California roll. We open with the one that changed everything. Ichiro Mashita was a trained sushi chef working at Tokyo Kaikan restaurant in Little Tokyo, downtown Los Angeles, in the early 1970s. He was good at his craft. He also had a serious business problem. His customers did not want raw fish. This is America in 1970. The average diner walking into a Japanese restaurant in LA was curious but cautious. Tuna belly, sea urchin, mackerel, none of it was landing. And even on the days when customers were adventurous, Mashita couldn't always source fresh tuna consistently or affordably. So he made a decision that went against everything he had been trained to do. He replaced the tuna with avocado. Same fat content, similar texture, completely familiar to an American palate. He turned the roll inside out, rice on the outside, nori on the inside, so the seaweed, which many Americans found off-putting, was hidden. Imitation crab, cucumber, no raw fish anywhere in sight. He called it the California roll. And he probably had no idea he had just unlocked the American sushi industry. Traditional Japanese sushi masters were not impressed. Many still aren't. The California roll is not authentic. It is a calculated compromise. But here is what that compromise accomplished. It gave an entire country a way in. Once Americans were comfortable with a California roll, they were willing to try the next thing, then the next. The California roll was not a destination, it was a door. And through that door walked a multi-billion-dollar industry that now spans every strip mall and fine dining counter in the United States. One chef, one substitution, one roll. That's Los Angeles. Food 2. The French dip. Sandwich. The name is misleading. Almost nothing about the French dip is French. It is a Los Angeles sandwich born in 1908 at a lunch counter on Alameda Street run by a man named Philippe Mathieu. The story goes like this. Philippe is making a sandwich for a police officer, roast beef on a sliced French roll. He fumbles it. The roll drops into the roasting pan, landing directly in the beef drippings pooled at the bottom. He pulls it out, reassembles the sandwich, and figures the cop can take it or leave it. The cop takes it, loves it, comes back the next day and asks for the same thing, dipped. His colleagues come in asking for the same. Philippe's lunch counter becomes famous for the wet sandwich nobody planned. Philippe's is still on Alameda Street. It has been there for over a century. There is a second claim, Cole's restaurant also opened in 1908, also in downtown Los Angeles, says they invented the French dip for a customer recovering from dental surgery. Bread softened in just so he could eat without pain. Cole's is also still open. Both restaurants have been arguing about this for over 100 years, and neither shows any sign of stopping. Here is what is not in dispute. The French dip was invented in Los Angeles. The name came from the bread, not the country. Food 3. The Cobb Salad. This one has a time, a date, and a location. August 1937. After closing. The kitchen of the Brown Derby restaurant in Hollywood. Robert Cobb owns the Brown Derby, one of the most famous restaurants in America at the time, a place where studio executives close deals and actors are photographed between bites. After the last table clears, Cobb is still there. He is hungry. He walks into the kitchen and opens the walk-in refrigerator. He finds lettuce, avocado, tomatoes, hard-boiled eggs, leftover chicken, a strip of bacon, some blue cheese. He chops all of it up, pours French dressing over the top, and eats standing at the counter. The next morning, he puts it on the menu. The Cobb Salad becomes one of the most requested dishes in the restaurant. It spreads across the country within years. It is now a fixture on virtually every casual dining menu in America. One detail worth pausing on: the Cobb Salad is served composed, ingredients arranged in clean rows rather than tossed together. That is not an accident. It is a salad designed to look good from across the room, which is exactly the right instinct for a restaurant full of people who spend their careers being looked at. Cobb understood his room. A hungry man, a well-stocked refrigerator. One good idea before sunrise. Food 4. The fortune cookie. This is the one that changes how you'll think about cultural ownership of food. Fortune cookies are not Chinese. There is no fortune cookie tradition in China. No equivalent exists in Chinese culinary history. If you handed someone a fortune cookie in Beijing and told them it was a Chinese invention, they would look at you the way you look at someone who says, deep dish is real pizza. Fortune cookies are Japanese, and they were made in Los Angeles. In the 1920s, a Japanese immigrant named Seiichi Kito founded Fujetsudo Confectionery in Little Tokyo. He modeled fortune cookies on omikuji, folded paper fortunes sold at Shinto temples across Japan. He shaped the tradition into a cookie, tucked a paper inside, and began selling them in Los Angeles. There's also a competing claim out of San Francisco, where a Japanese immigrant named Makoto Hagiwara reportedly served fortune cookies at the Japanese tea garden as early as 1914. What happened next is not debated. In 1942, the U.S. government forcibly relocated over 120,000 Japanese Americans to internment camps. Kito and other Japanese American fortune cookie makers were among them. While they were imprisoned, Chinese-owned bakeries in California took over production to meet demand. By the time Japanese Americans were released from the camps, the fortune cookie had already been fully absorbed into Chinese restaurant culture. The connection to its Japanese origins had been severed. The fortune cookie is now a global recognized symbol of Chinese food. The people who invented it were behind barbed wire when that identity was assigned. The first taste, as it turns out, was only half the story. Food 5. The Cheeseburger. Simple idea. Enormous consequence. In 1924, a 16-year-old named Lionel Sternberger was working at his father's sandwich shop in Pasadena. He laid a slice of cheese on a hamburger patty while it was still on the grill. he served it. He called it the Aristocrat Burger, which is a remarkable name for something that would eventually be sold through a speaker to a car at 11 p.m. He later simplified the name to Cheeseburger. Newspapers covered it as a legitimate novelty. Multiple cities have since tried to claim the invention. Denver has a counter-argument, and Louisville has one too. What Pasadena has is a historical plaque where the shop once stood, and the earliest documented evidence on record. The cheeseburger is the foundation of American fast food. It was invented by a teenager in LA County who had a slice of cheese and a good instinct. Food 6, the chili burger. In 1946, Tom Kulaks, known to everyone as Tommy, opened a stand in Lincoln Heights and put a ladle of homemade chili on top of a hamburger. Onions, mustard, pickles. Tommy's became a Los Angeles institution, the kind that doesn't need a PR strategy. It runs on reputation built plate by plate at 2 a.m. The chili is specific, thick, beefy, designed to cling to the burger and soak into the bun without destroying it. That specificity is the whole point. Tommy's is not an idea, it is a formula, and it has held for 80 years. Food 7, the Korean taco. In 2008, Chef Roy Choi put Korean short rib, kimchi, and gochujang inside a corn tortilla and drove a food truck around Los Angeles. It sounds like a simple fusion experiment. What it actually was is a map of the city, because in Los Angeles, Korean communities and Mexican communities share neighborhoods, share streets, share corner stores. The cross-pollination was already happening in living rooms and lunch boxes across the city. Choi just put it on a menu. The Korean taco sparked the gourmet food truck movement in America. It proved that serious food could come from a truck, that no format was beneath ambition, and that the most honest expression of a city's culture might not come from its white tablecloth restaurants. It could only have started in Los Angeles. No other city had the ingredients, human or otherwise. Food. 8. The Moscow Mule. Hollywood, 1940s. The Cock and Bull Pub. 3 people, 3 problems. John Martin owned Smirnoff Vodka, which was not selling. Jack Morgan owned the pub and had a surplus of ginger beer nobody was ordering. Sophie Brzezinski, Martin's girlfriend, ran a company that manufactured copper mugs she couldn't move. They poured vodka and ginger beer into one of Sophie's copper mugs, squeezed in some lime, and told people it was a sophisticated Russian cocktail. Hollywood loved it. Vodka, which had almost no market presence in America at the time, got a foothold. Ginger beer moved. The mugs sold. The Moscow Mule is pure Los Angeles deal-making in a cup. Nothing about it was organic. Everything about it was invented to solve a problem. And it worked. Food 9. The Chinese chicken salad. Sylvia Wu opened Madame Wu's garden in Santa Monica in the 1960s with a clear goal. Chinese flavors, American comfort level. One afternoon, actor Cary Grant described a salad he had somewhere. Wu took the description and rebuilt it from her own pantry. Shredded chicken, wonton strips, cabbage, almonds, sesame soy dressing. It became one of the most imitated dishes in American casual dining. It is not authentically Chinese. It is Chinese American, a distinct cuisine that built its own identity out of 2 traditions negotiating with each other. That negotiation happened in Los Angeles. Food 10. The smoothie. Julius Freed was selling fresh orange juice in Los Angeles in the 1920s. A friend with a sensitive stomach kept telling him the acidity was a problem. Freed started blending the juice with milk, sugar, and ice. Frothier, smoother, easier on the gut. Orange Julius became a chain. The blended drink created a new category. The smoothie industry in the United States is worth billions of dollars today, and it traces back to one man in Los Angeles trying to fix a friend's stomachache. Most great ideas started as someone solving a problem that wasn't supposed to matter. 10 dishes, one city, one pattern running through all of them. Someone arrives in Los Angeles with something from somewhere else, a culinary tradition, a technique, an ingredient. The context is wrong. The customers aren't ready. The supply chain doesn't cooperate. So they change something. They drop the roll in the drippings. They swap the tuna for avocado. They put the short rib in the tortilla. They add the cheese and see what happens. Los Angeles has never been a city that preserves things. It is a city that recombines them. Every culture that lands here eventually influences every other, not always cleanly, not always with proper credit, but continuously, restlessly, productively. The result is a food identity that belongs to no single tradition. It belongs to the city, and the world has been eating it ever since, mostly without knowing where it came from. Now you know.